Hello, friends, and welcome to Chicago's most fun sports podcast, Monsters of the Madhouse, brought to you by TC's World of Wonders, Serendipity Ice Cream, and Budget Cars. Tonight, I have with me my fun man, Easy, helping me out, bailing me out tonight, and we have Leah Amico. Tonight, we celebrate the stars, past, present, and future of softball, an America pastime that had 8.1 million U.S. professional, collegiate, and high school grade school, club, and amateur players that will participate in this year. Let's meet two of the record-setting, remarkable ladies who have made USA softball of the world's most successful and premier softball team. The sweet, swinging Leah Amico. How you doing, Leah?
I'm excited to be here.
Excited to have you. This is awesome. So the sweet swinging lefty from Chino, California, electrified fans her All-American career with the Arizona Wildcats, and then took her game to the highest elevation while helped carrying the United States to gold medals at 1996, 2000, and 2004. That's quite an
That's right.
accomplishment.
Oh yeah, great teams, and I just played softball at the right time. Even though college is so much bigger now, I was able to bring home 3 gold medals, so I wouldn't trade it for anything.
That's very humble for you to say, and quite an accomplishment. So let's get started. Let's ask you a couple questions, if you don't mind. How did you fall in love with softball as a kid?
My parents signed me up. I was really outgoing. I mean, growing up, we always said people said Leah's a tomboy. That was the term we used to use, right? I don't know if we say it anymore. But I just loved being outside, climbing, playing, just being super active since I was little. And so when I was, I think 6, my parents decided that next season to sign me up for the local softball league, softball and soccer. So I played softball one season, and then the fall season I would play soccer. And I just fell in love with both sports. I mean, at the youngest age, I loved both of them. I loved the challenge of softball, right? With hitting and throwing and fielding, and the fact that you have to be so focused on the little things. But then I loved the aggressiveness and physicality of soccer. And so they were totally different, but I absolutely loved both. And I really feel like playing both of those helped me eventually when I got, late older as an athlete and went into college softball.
Do you feel like playing two sports helped you out? Like it kind of like like you weren't like bored, because I know like some people play sports like year round, one sport, whatever. And do you feel like it helped you like keep an even balance there?
I really do. I feel like it allowed me to focus on different skill sets. It was like cross training, right? It was like I'm training my body differently. I had to have endurance and energy, and it was a totally different skill set and even like strategy playing soccer, right? But then softball, like, again, it's one person at a time doing one thing at a time, right? But you have your team still and the support. So you kind of got both. But I really do feel like it made me a more rounded athlete. And back in the day, I know a lot more athletes specialize younger and younger these days. It's so much more common. But back in the day, almost every Olympian had played multiple sports. And so we all felt like that was very important for us to just grow into the athletes that we were.
Wow. What more than anything enabled you to take your game to an all-American level?
Well, a couple things. Number one, I think attention to detail. And I think back to my parents, actually my dad signed me up for to get pitching lessons at a time where people didn't used to do that. It was not common. I grew up in Southern California, which is the hotbed for softball. And now again, nationwide, it's obviously exploded. But at that time, like softball was really dominated by California. We got to play all year long. You had a lot of athletes. You're being tested every single weekend. So you would raise your level of play. Well, my parents, when I was 8 years old, took me to a pitching coach 45 minutes away. Again, back in the day, it was unheard of. But I think back to where that is why I got this unbelievable start. I mean, I was young. I was just learning the mechanics of it. But it was totally different than somebody whose dad was like, "Hey, let's try this." This guy had some college athletes who went on to, compete in college, which back in the day again, I mean, softball and scholarships, women's soccer. I mean, Arizona just had gotten a team for soccer when I first got there. So
Wow.
female athletics were expanding. Okay, so I feel like I had amazing instruction. So right off the bat, like that was important because it wasn't just let's go out and throw the ball, throw fast or throw hard. It was true little instruction on the fundamentals. Number two, like I feel like I had that support with my family that made it available for us. And then number three, I fell in love with it. This is a missing ingredient. Well, I say you could have all the talent in the world if you do not have the passion and the heart and the love and almost a little bit of obsessiveness
Hmm,
for it. You're not
sure.
going to be that elite star athlete because people are working so hard. Everybody these days has those private coaches. And ultimately, like, I think that's what gives you that edge, that belief, that mindset of I not only want to compete, but I want to be the best there is. And so that love and that passion to compete.
One of our big time co-hosts couldn't make it tonight. He's sick. The kids, they come home. Well, you have kids. They come home with all the stuff from school, all these coughs and stuff. They're like a petri dish. You know what I mean? Mike Foz, he had a great question. We usually save him for later, but I love his question. Do you ever come? Did you ever come to a point where you had to choose between sports? And if yes, did you almost not choose softball?
So I did at the end of after high school, basically. I played softball and soccer all the way through. And I basically eventually made the choice because softball was opening more doors. I absolutely loved soccer, but I didn't have to give it up until I was ready to take it to that next level. And so I did choose softball. And honestly, I if soccer scholarships were coming in and a ton of people were saying that, and I had gotten as many looks as I did in softball, I might have said yes if it was a better offer. I really loved both of them probably equally, but I played more of the individual role and position in softball that I think elevated my play a lot higher for more opportunity.
From Crystl Bustos to Lisa Fernandez to Jenny Finch, Team USA gold medal team rosters are dream teams. But what was the X factor that carried these teams about every other team in the world into three consecutive gold medals, especially given that you were getting every opponent's best shot every time you took the diamond?
Yeah, I think multiple things factor into it. I think number 1, we have the best collegiate system in the world, and so athletes are being trained. We have, Australians who come over, the best Australians and pitchers. I played against Melanie Roach, and she played against her in college, and she played in 3 Olympics against me for Team Australia. So we have the best system that builds more athletes, and then we have more depth because of that, I believe, and we have more pitch. We have better pitching, and ultimately overall. So the depth that we have, but what you saw was Japan, who ended up being and has won the last 2 gold medals in Olympic softball. They eventually started bringing our best athletes and our best pitchers that they could get over there to come and play in their leagues. And so they trained against our best. And I believe that's what eventually elevated them. And then they also had one of
Neat.
the best pitchers in the entire world. So when it came down to the gold medal game, it really came back down to that pitcher's duel and who could hit that. But I feel like them and their hitters facing our best pitchers, Monica Abbott being one of them, for so many years, it gave them just enough to be able to push it over and for them to win the gold medal.
I want to ask about that real quick because I'm easy, by the way. So I watched. I remember watching y'all win in '04. I was 8, so I don't remember you specifically, but I remember being very excited. Loved softball, but I want to know, like, the one person I obviously remember is Jenny Finch because it was I was 8 and
Mhm.
she was the pitcher. She was getting all that attention, and I want to know like as a baseball fan and as kind of less of a softball fan, I have been getting more into it this year, living in live right by UCLA, Maya Brady, all these
Oh,
guys, really fun to watch. But
yeah.
I want to ask like how important is dominant pitching in softball? Because I notice when I look at the stats, they're so much more skewed than they are in like a traditional baseball setting. So like I guess my question would be, like how important is it to have that dominant pitcher, and like what does a dominant pitcher really look like in softball?
Well, it's so important. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, like so much of sports, we already know this, but it's mental. So if you have this elite pitcher, not only are they getting it done, but now you get in people's heads as well. So you already have a little bit of that mental edge. But to be able to beat hitters multiple ways, that's so important too. And so that's what I've seen with the best pitchers in the game. And then what I'm going to say is any of the best programs now have multiple pitchers that can do the job. They maybe have a star that's kind of the name and known, but ultimately they have somebody that can come in behind that pitcher when needed. And I think that is so, so important. We saw a couple years ago with Rachel Garcia at UCLA. She's phenomenal. She's a top elite athlete in the world for softball. But when she wasn't in the mound, it felt different for UCLA because of not only her ability, but just the edge and the mental edge that they had. And so I think it's the ability to move the ball. I think obviously speed with moving the ball is
Mhm.
it. And then I think just these pitchers that have this presence, which this is where the mentality that comes in also, but they have this presence out there, like they're on attack mode and they are going to mow people down. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, with as much hitting as our game has seen now, and the offense that we see out there, not a lot of pitchers necessarily carry that presence anymore. But I'd say the
Mm.
best pitchers in the entire world, they carry that presence.
Yeah, there's something about having just like that dominant physical figure out there who can, kind of like a Carlos Zambrano type thing, just like antagonize opponents, just like purely on the mental aspect, in addition to having dominant stuff. I like that.
That's really good stuff. Mike had another question for you. Who was the best pitcher you ever faced, and what made them specifically so difficult to face?
Well, in college, Lisa Fernandez by far. I mean, she is the world's best overall. But then what I noticed later on when we would compete against our own pitchers, who I just hated facing them in practice, but they made us better. The challenge, they made us better. But I would say Kat Osterman. And one of the reasons why with Kat is because as a lefty versus lefty, I'm a lefty hitter,
Mm.
she's a lefty pitcher. Um, when Kat was on, our right-handers, like we barely hit her. We played. Kat was playing for our other USA team one year, and we faced her, and I think she beat us, and I'm pretty sure she beat us that year. And our lefties just when she was on, like if you didn't hit her in the first couple pitches, like you're going to strike out when she got ahead. And our right-handers would hit her not hard, but they would because of the way her balls moved. And so her curveball, her drop ball, but especially her curveball versus a lefty moved so much. And so Kat moved the ball as well as, I would say, similar to a men's fast pitch pitcher because just their strength and their wrist. So all these other pitchers are very good and they locate and they spot and they mix speeds and they have movement. But hers was not as hard. Kat didn't throw as hard. She had so much spin on the ball that she made it so hard. So Kat Osterman, truly, and I don't know people that don't know softball, but Kat Osterman played for Team USA when I played in my last Olympics in 2004, and then she actually played in this last Olympics. She came out of retirement to play in the Tokyo Games.
Oh, wow. How did that go?
What did you say?
Oh, I just said, how did that go? Like, coming back, I imagine that had to be, pretty tough.
She took a couple years off. She played professional ball after she was done with college, played professional ball for a long time. And I think she might've been out for about 2 years when they asked her to come back. So it took her, I want to say she took about half a year to a year to build up to getting back to kind of that elite shape. And then at that point, then she played for, like I think 2 years leading up to the games.
Got it. Oh, wow. There you go.
Like you're used to playing with Jenny, but Kat she just looks so much taller, like her legs and everything. She just I don't know, I can't explain it. When you see the two, it's just, well, you would know, you played with both of them, but did you feel like that made like you a better hitter? Like would they say, hey Leah, you got to do this when I'm doing this, whatever? And did you guys talk about that, or did you just adjust? Is that where you went on your long consecutive hitting streaks and all that?
I mean, I think we were just all perfectionists. So we would scrimmage each other. So when I see their pitches, even if I'm not hitting them, I'm seeing their movement and I'm getting to make decisions. Am I going to swing at it or not? Am I able to get a hold of one or not? So then when I see these other pitchers, I feel like, oh, it seems easier. And so anytime we inter squad practiced, I hated it. I mentally hated it, but I knew it was going to make me better in the long run. And I think I think the pitchers hated I think Jenny Finch hated throwing to Crystl Bustos, in practices, right? but I was thankful for it, and I just kept thinking, hey, I'm just glad they're actually officially on the same team as me. So when it really counts, we're all together. But yeah, we would talk about it. I mean, I think more than anything, like the pitchers would talk with the pitchers on what to do, and the hitters, as hitters, we would talk with each other about what to do. And that's really, I think, we were just constantly in this mental space of, what do I need to keep getting better? What do I need to maintain? What do I need to keep? What do I need to change? What do I need to do to be my best?
Wow.
Hmm.
So can you describe that feeling of winning a gold medal for your country? Like what was that like? I mean, I know like whenever you talk, you talk a lot of the team, feeling and all of that. But for you personally, what was that like for you? The first one.
Oh my gosh, it happened so fast. I was in college still. I was 21 years old,
Wow.
and it's like, this is real, like a pinch me moment. Like, this really just happened. Like, it's everything I've dreamt about. And a year ago, I was named to the team, and now we're winning a gold medal. And just like this surreal moment. And I tell people, like, literally, it's something to where it's every emotion into one. Like, you just want to, like, you just relieved. There's this, like, this burden on your back that in a sense is laid down, and it's just celebration and gratefulness and pride because your country, you're so proud to be American. Literally, it's the most joyful moment because you work so hard your entire life. And then it's just like, yes, like I literally can rest and I can just celebrate now. Like that's I think the difference of, like, it's just finality. Whereas other years I won national championship and it was like, yeah, let's have fun this summer. And then it was like, okay, we gotta work, get back to it. But an Olympic one was like 4 years, you know? So then you're just like, it's done. Like, it's done for a while. Like, now we just get to celebrate. So it's awesome.
During the Olympic Games, Douglas Copus has a great question. In terms of playing against a team, not just like a personal feeling, but what country did you dislike the most?
Yeah. So so my first Olympics, actually, China was our biggest competition, and they had the other best pitching in the world at that time. So they were tough. That was hard. Australia, I feel like in some ways, well, until later on in the first couple Olympics, I feel like they were like, they play the most similar to America. So I feel like they were in a sense like almost these rivals. And I think because their athletes played in America, some of them did. I don't know. There was just a different vibe with them. So I personally was like, like, we want to beat Australia. And then later in the Olympics, Japanese, because they actually, we got the gold in the 2000 Olympics, but they actually were undefeated and we had 3 losses, and we came back and won the final game. It was a winner take all.
I wanted to
So
sorry, I wanted to ask about that game because that one might have been y'all's most exciting championship. I seem it was, I think y'all were down for most of the game, and then I think you won. It seems like y'all want to walk off in the 8th. So can you take me through that?
mhm.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, so we knew it was going to be a battle. We already lost 3 games earlier in the tournament to China, Australia, and Japan. But the thing was, we lost 2 of them on airs, and then we
Mm.
lost to Australia. We were winning. We had one more out, and then they hit a home run, and we lost. So in the final, we worked our way back. We got to the gold medal game. We knew, okay, like, all that matters now is this game. It doesn't matter what happened before, but they went ahead of us. But I think it was the 5th inning. We tied it up. Michelle Smith, I think, got the RBI there, and we tied it up. And I don't know if it was Michelle. Anyway, she was a part of it. Maybe she scored. I'm not sure. And then
Right.
it was in the 8th, and it was the outfielder. There was a pop fly to left field, and the outfielder actually dropped a ball, and they lost it. Like, they lost the game. We scored on that, but it's crazy because that's how we lost our game earlier in the
Right.
tournament
You
to
lost
them,
on an
was on an
error.
error. It was a throwing error. So I figured, like, with those types of teams and games, it was either going to come down to like one swing, like a home run, or an error, is what it felt like, you
Right. Right.
know?
Right.
And so that's what ended up happening. So that was craziness. We even had like a rain delay. Like, it was just a crazy atmosphere. All the Australians were cheering for the Japanese team because they just want Americans to lose. So it was like
Love that.
this crazy atmosphere, and all of our
USA
families were
baby.
waving their American flags. It was crazy. So, anyways, so later, the rest, after I would say that, then the build up with, but here's the thing about Japan, like, I hated playing against them. but they were so nice. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
really
yeah.
hard to not like them. They're like the best people ever. And we,
Mhm.
knew some of them. And one of my teammates, Michelle Smith, had played over in Japan as well. And so she knew a bunch of them. So we had good relationships with them. But I will tell you, this is what I want to say. So in the 2004 Olympics, our toughest game in the regular part, I don't know if we had gone 10 innings, was with Japan, and it was with like their number 2 pitcher. So we were like, oh gosh, if we get to that final game again, we know like we're gonna get their number 1. Yukiko Ueno is her name, and she's the one who actually just won the gold medal again in this last Olympics. But she
Jeez.
was young and she was so good. But what happened was in the semifinal game, they had to play Australia in order to make it to the gold medal, and Australia beat them. And I'm telling you right now, I was so happy. I
Yeah,
was
right.
like, yes,
Let's
Mhm.
yes,
go.
bring on Australia. We ended up going on to win 5-1. But Australia plays more similar to how we play. And Japan, they're just a little bit different. Their style's a little different. So, anyways,
Sometimes
I
you
was
just
mad.
know, like you root for a matchup.
It's so
Like,
true. It's so true. So I knew you just felt like even that again, that more like an extra mental edge once I knew we were playing Australia.
mhm.
So getting on to like the mentorship and the different part of the game that you're in now today. What is the best piece of advice you can give a young kid that's just now picking up the game of softball?
So I would tell athletes, number one, get down solid fundamentals, because I'm gonna tell you, like at young ages, you could have success doing things the wrong way, and it will always come back to haunt you. So,
Mm.
good fundamentals at a young age is so important. So you want to obviously, there's so much information out there that you can get that. And then number two, focus on your strengths. Like have fun with it. Focus on. Remember, it's a game. I will tell you, as kids are getting older and older, getting into college, that's the number one question I start to get is how did you deal with it mentally? Remember that it's a game and learn from every failure. If you can do that at a young age and start doing that now and carry that through, you're going to be so much better off mentally, because so many people get so like it beats you up, this game. But if you put in perspective of like, no, it's a game, and oh, that girl got me out, but she's not getting me out again. That's like the mentality that I would take. We all have times of discouragement and frustration, but put it into, okay, like she threw that pitch, I'm going to look for that one next time. Like take a learning, tool from it. But
Mm.
and then what I said, focus on your strengths, because here's the thing. I was a line drive base hit hitter. I had good average. I was good in big moments. If I tried to swing like my Olympic teammates, like that hit a million home runs, I would be terrible. And so I try to tell athletes all the time. I did that for a little period of time. I trained with one of our home run hitters, and I started doing terrible. And it quickly taught me, do not change what your strengths are. Keep working and keep growing, but focus on your strengths, what makes you good. Some people are faster, some people are stronger, some people are more contact hitters, some people have power. But what I see, because I do some coaching now, when I see these hitters that aren't super strong and they're trying to lift everything, I'm like, you're going to be an easy out all the time. So
Mm.
stay consistent. Consistency is the key.
Yeah, it seems, just reading over your numbers, seems like you were very much like the Ichiro of your team. A lot of contact. Like everything I'm reading on your Wikipedia page is like she hit 556 here, and then she hit 467 here, and it's just like, yeah, you definitely found your way on base a lot.
Yeah, more contact for sure, more consistency, big games, like I said. And so that was a thing. Like I think I just enjoyed the big moments, and I think that's what eventually helped me to be able to make it to that top level.
Mike has
Right.
another question for you. I feel like he's read some of your notes before the show. He says, "Do you have children involved in softball, or do you coach young softball players at all today?"
Yeah, so I have 3 sons. So we tried baseball, but it didn't stick with any of them. I have my 2 younger ones are in high school, and they play football and track and field, so they don't even play baseball. But I have worked with softball players ever since I retired in 2004, and I do a lot of different things. I do commentating for the Women's College World Series with Westwood One Radio. I do a little bit of
Oh.
ESPN stuff each year, and then I have done. I coached 1 year in the pro league. for the USSSA Pride. I coached 2 years in high school ball. This was years ago. I've done softball clinics around the nation. I did a period of time, a long time ago, that I did personal lessons, but then once I started raising my family, that became too hard. Currently, I'm actually working with the Israeli junior national team. So the
Hey,
last 2 summers, I've coached
Am
them,
Yisrael Chai. I
and
love it.
I will be with them this summer in Israel and Prague, or in Italy and Prague and Canada for a couple tournaments.
That's
You take a
awesome. I love
trip
that.
there at least once a year just for your leisure, right?
No, I went 3 years ago for a trip
Yeah,
to just for my first time to tour in
right.
and see, and then I connected with the softball people, and so that's where I've gone back now. I've been there 3 times. I actually coached in the Maccabiah Games this past summer, which was basically the Jewish Olympics, and we won the
Oh,
gold
no
medal with
kidding.
Team Israel there.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome. My best friend, he was one of the announcers out there, so that's really cool. It's fun, always fun to make a
Very
connection like
cool.
that. Yeah.
Nice.
do you ever do Special Olympics?
For some
Okay,
background, this is
so
my commenting. Mallory Weinstein, that's my stepsister. She participates in the Special Olympics every year, so I think that's why she's asking.
Okay,
nice.
thank you.
So a long time ago, travel ball, when I was growing up, we actually did. We helped out locally. There was a connection, and I had the best time ever and absolutely loved it. Recently, I was just asked to go be involved in Utah this summer at one, and I'm not able to because I'm going to be out of the country at the time for that event. But I would love to get more connections and to be able to join in with working with Special Olympics, because I just love the Olympic movement. I love Paralympics. I love Special Olympics. I love it all.
Agreed.
We see that college softball World Series deliver record ratings and attendance figures each year, and new collegiate stars breaking out every spring. Is the game of softball getting stronger than ever today, despite the fact that international, you've talked about this before, Olympic Committee no longer gives sport a guaranteed position in Olympics every 4 years? Do you feel like it's getting stronger, even though that's the case right now?
I do. I think in America for sure it's getting stronger. I think worldwide, like overall it is. I just don't know country-wise if they're able to have the building up with the younger ones now that it's not in the Olympics. I think it's making it a little bit harder. They lost a lot of funding. I know right away with like Australia, some of their best players didn't even play after that because they had to raise so much money. They're like, I just got to get a job. And so anyways, but I do think in America, our sport has grown the opportunities, and I think it really is focused. They still are trying out the pro league, that they're still continuing to work at that. There's some different opportunities, but the college game right now is really where we're the strongest. I mean, the fan support, the TV viewership, the following that we have there, the NIL deals, I think is huge. They're able to, these athletes are able to really capitalize on their name, image, and likeness. And so each year when I do the Women's College World Series, I'm like, it's getting better. And I think the visibility on softball and the fact that I mean, right now, Oklahoma is the best team in the country. They have been last couple years,
Yeah.
but overall, there's still a big group of teams that are all in that top 20, some teams that keep moving in for the first time. So the play overall is getting stronger and better.
Wow. Billy Flores says his daughter loves hearing what you're saying right now. I believe she's a freshman and she's on the varsity team, which is like totally unheard of. And I think she's playing shortstop or second base. I can't remember, but regardless, two very difficult positions, right? So, yeah,
That's
she's enjoying
that's
what you have to.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love telling these athletes, like, I was a freshman too when I made varsity, and it was a big deal. And I was pitching a lot and I was playing first a little bit. And it's so cool because you get that experience at that younger age, and then the next 3 years you have that experience now, and you really can keep growing in that. But I love that athletes just go after their goals and their dreams, and don't let anybody stop you. You have that goal. Like my kids, like, that's the thing. My son in football was a freshman, and he's like, I want to make varsity. He went in and talked to the coach. I didn't even know it. And he's like, I want at least a chance to be on varsity. I'm a freshman. I don't care. Like, and they did. They brought him up for some games, and I was like, wow, okay, I see that drive. And then my youngest is he's done hurdles for about a year now. He's a sophomore, and this kid is like, I want to win, and I'm gonna make a PR. And I just see
Oh,
this
you love it.
this drive of, and then when they get these good coaches, and so I love hearing that. I love athletes that are motivated, that love it, and that are willing to say, I'll do what it takes to try to be the best.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate your time and effort for coming on with us. If there's where can our viewers find you right now? Do you have any books out, or is there what are you doing? Do you have any shows, or how can they follow you?
Yeah, there's a couple things. Number one, my website is leahamico.com, leahamico.com. So that's my website. I also have a podcast, the Gold Standard podcast, where I interview pro athletes, Olympic athletes, just different people who've done great things, as well as I share just tips that I think helped me to be an Olympic athlete, and kind of that gold standard of like, it's how we do everything, right? It doesn't matter what I'm doing, it's how I do it that gets me all these other opportunities and brings success in so many different ways. And then social media like Instagram, Leah20USA. So my name and my number, LEH20USA at G or at that's Instagram and Twitter. So yeah, just love sharing, and thank you guys so much for having me on.
Of
Awesome.
course,
Thanks
thank
for being
you.
on.
Thanks for winning a bunch of championships for the USA. That's awesome. You're an
Yeah.
American
Yes,
sports
go
legend. All right,
USA.
so we appreciate it.
All right. Have a good
Thanks, you
night.
guys. Thanks.
That was good having her on, wasn't it, bro?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was fantastic. I'm really trying to
Yeah.
get into softball this year. It's easy here because UCLA is right down the road. I should be going to more games, but and UCLA is like I think the number 3 in the country right now. So yeah, no, I'm definitely a big softball, big baseball all the way around. So definitely really cool having her on.
Yeah. We're just waiting for Crystl Bustos to come on. She'll be on any minute, and she's the big bruiser. She's got the world record to this day of having the most home runs for men and women Olympics. And I mean, as you
Really?
can, yeah, and you can see the last Olympics, the men didn't even hit one. So I think her six home run in a series is going to last a while.
Oh yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
kind of sad that the men didn't hit one though.
Oh, Crystal says she's having difficulty getting in. So, let's kind of jump off softball for a little bit right now. Let's talk about baseball. Let's talk about the Cubs and the Sox. Kind of stay kind of in the same frame of mind. What are you seeing this year so far with the Cubs? How are things looking for you?
Oh, that's a good question. It's been overall, I'd say it's been a pretty good start. I predicted them to kind of go about 500, and so far they are playing like a 500 ball club. I'm very impressed so far with Dansby Swanson, obviously off to a really good start. Nico Horner as well. It's all looking good. Uh-oh. What happened? Where did he go?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay, good. Just making sure. But yeah, no, it was I definitely like what I've seen from the Cubs. Also, by the way, right now we are winning 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning, so 9 outs away from hopefully going to 5-4. Drew Smiley, 5 innings pitched, only gave up 1 run. Nice outing from him, which was good to see because he really struggled in Cincinnati in a game that we definitely should have won. So like the thing I'll say about the Cubs is I've been mostly impressed because even in our losses, it's games that I really think the Cubs could have won. Like, I think the Cubs absolutely could be sitting at 5-3, even 6-2 right now. Of course, they are 4-4, and I'm able to forgive it because it's obviously early in the season, new team, kind of getting used to it. And one thing I have noticed about this team is even when they're down late in games, they don't really panic. You got a lot of, wily vets on this team who know what it's like to win and who know how to be team players on winning ball clubs. Obviously Hosmer won in 2015. Of course, you got Ross, the manager, and Hendricks, who won in 16. You got Mancini, who won last year with the Astros. You got Dansby Swanson winning a World Series in 2019. Bellinger won one in 2020, kind of. I don't really count it, but my Dodger friends would hate me for saying that. But yeah, but point being, you have a lot of winning experience on this team. And I think that's kind of shown because there's a lot of unselfish at-bats happening. Now, that being said, I feel like they are missing a certain power element, maybe a certain pitching element too. But I do like what they have going, and I think they will be in contention maybe for the division, if not at least for a wild card spot throughout the year. So I'm excited about it.
Who's been your dark horse so far? Like, who was the guy that you thought was going to shine and you really didn't know for sure, but just came up and is doing great right now?
Well, Patrick Wisdom is off to a really good start this season. 3 home runs, slugging. His OPS is, I think, still over 1,000. He's actually at bat right now. We'll see how he does. But yeah, definitely. He's off to a really hot start. I don't expect it to continue, but looking good. But really, what's blown me away the most is starting pitchers 1A and 1B, meaning Marcus Stroman and Justin
Crystal.
Steele. Oh,
How
hey,
you
Crystal.
doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
nothing
Sorry, I'm on a bus, so I was trying to figure out how to get on here.
Okay.
No worries.
The
Welcome.
lighting it's really dark over there?
Yeah, I'm on a bus.
Okay. That's all right.
I thought this was just an audio thing. I didn't know it was a Facebook thing.
Okay. I can kind of see you a little bit right now, but that's all right. We'll roll with this. No big deal.
We're getting to the parking lot soon, and I'll get out, and there'll be better lighting.
Okay, perfect. So, what do you want a bus for right now? What's going on?
I'm an assistant coach for Texas A&M Commerce, and we are headed to. We're getting to Houston right now to play tomorrow and Wednesday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What division is that?
It's Division I.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're in the Southland Conference.
Okay.
Which school did you say?
Texas A&M Commerce.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it's our first year transitioning from D2 to D1.
Oh, well, that's amazing. Well, I mean, they're lucky to have someone who knows a thing or two about getting big hits in big situations as a coach. That's for sure. While y'all make this transition.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out here in about 2 minutes. Just give me a second. We're parking the bus.
Okay, no problem. Just mute us real quick, and Easy and I will be talking, and then just alert us when you get back on.
Perfect.
All
right. Yeah, the door's about to open.
Okay.
We're good. All right. Sorry about that.
Behind the scenes with Crystl Bustos.
Yeah, it's been a hectic day. We had a lot going on. A lot of stops before we got to where we're at right now. So we're taking the girls to eat at Olive Garden.
Nice.
So
luxury.
Yeah, right.
Fine dining.
It was all nothing but buffets.
No, I'm a big Olive Garden guy. Very underrated restaurant.
Oh wow.
I think so, but that's
So
opinions.
let's introduce our guest real quick, Crystl Bustos, the Big Bruiser, the prolific home run hitter in Olympic history. Crystl Bustos, aka the Big Bruiser, delivered both power, superb defense, and strong leadership for Team USA's 2000 and 2004 Olympic gold medal teams. Crystl, after that introduction, let me ask you a quick question. When did you know softball was going to be much more than just a hobby and a summertime activity for you?
When did I know softball was going to be my thing? Honestly, when my dad decided to take me from baseball when I was 10 years old and tell me that I had to play softball. So that kind of was just the way it was. He said, girls play softball, boys play baseball. And that's just the way it is. You won't be able to play baseball in high school or college. So that's just where I ended up.
That's what's up. Who was your most influential mentor and influence on your game?
Honestly, it would be my Uncle Jesse. He would drive hours to come work with me. Out of all the nephews that he had and nieces and nephews and family, he just would come all the way down to work with me, so he saw something. I always tell people, and people would always say that he saw something in me that he wanted to make into something, like he worked with my game in baseball since I was 3 years old, and then transitioning into softball, he learned it all, just taught me everything I know, and as I grew older, my travel ball coach, Dale Moore, was huge in my development as far as a person, as an athlete, and as I got into the Olympic team, my uncle passed, and my hitting coach, Howard Carrier, became like my coach as I got older.
So can you talk about a little bit? So you said you started with baseball, switched over to softball at 10. What was that transition like? I know obviously very different sports, but also at a young
It
age.
was really weird, to be honest. The transition from baseball to softball. I remember I was found at my my brother's flag football practice. So I was throwing off to the side with my dad, and a lady had twins playing on my brother's team, and she saw me throwing, and she comes over to my dad and goes, "Does your daughter play softball?" And I remember yelling from about, I don't know, half a football field away. I was throwing, and she's like, and I was like, "No, I play baseball." And she started laughing, and she goes, "Well, you might want to come try it. It's Junior Olympic softball. It's, ASA softball. It's different. It's not high arc. It's windmill." And my dad was like, "Well, what's that?" And so we went and checked it out, and the rest is history. Tracy Boldroff was the coach. She was my very first travel ball softball coach that found me.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
How did you develop your prolific power at the plate?
Oh, gosh, to be honest, it's not like I developed it, right? It's just something that I believe I was gifted with a little bit. Um, I was very active as a kid, so I played football with my brothers, basketball on the street with everybody in the neighborhood, and I ran a lot and just played outside. We played outside. We did things that these kids don't do anymore, and I think a lot of it was just being active. My body was used to running and playing and riding bikes and throwing things, and you're constantly learning, different skills just from being outside.
Do you find it difficult and challenging to coach nowadays? Maybe not so much the level that you're at, but lower levels. With the challenge with the phone, tablets, whatever it may be, to keep their attention and to get what you need to get in. Because I know your attention to detail. You're very disciplined, and for
Yeah,
you to get in all your stuff and say, "Hey, don't waste my time," is it
yeah,
difficult for you to find the happy medium
it is.
there?
It is, and that's one thing that I think helps elite athletes get to where they're going, right? Um, Elite athletes are like-minded in that sense. We are detail-oriented. We just want to do nothing but our sport and be the best at our sport. And we put every waking minute into our sport. And we relate everything to our sport, whatever it is we're doing. And when you're around people that aren't as like-minded, it becomes hard, right? So it's just trying to find a way within travel ball and little league and everything with our kids is I would hope that parents are trying to figure out a way to get away from the phone a little bit, get away from the easy way out of parenting and giving them a tablet. You know, take the kid outside, play catch with them, throw a football with them, let them kick a soccer ball, take them to the park and let them run around, shoot a basket. The things that we did growing up that these kids need to learn, and let them fail, right? When they shoot a basket and don't make it, let them fail. When they throw a ball and don't hit the target, let them fail. Um, the tablet's easy because you get to reset it again. You get to reset it, and you get to reset it, and you get to reset it. And then they win, and then they win, and then they win so quickly, and that's not real. In life, we don't win that fast. We got to put everything into it. And I think that's one of the challenges now is with this, computer era, is trying to figure out how we can get them to be more meticulous on those little things that we need to get better at. And that's one of the challenges of coaching, and I look at a person when I'm coaching them and I see the best in them and I want to give them the best. I want to give them everything. And when it's not like received the next second, to me, it's like, oh, I gotta relax. It's not like that. I gotta let them work through some things, let them find some things. So it's getting there. I mean, it's getting to the point where I've done coaching now since I was done playing, and coached the professional level to the collegiate level to the travel ball kid to the little kid that's beginning, and just getting parents to just want to be more active with their kids. That's what I really hope, and I want them to understand is like, I come from a military background, right? My dad, rooms had to be clean, everything had to be fixed. Like, you had to pick up your toys, you had to make sure everything was right, and I think that paid off. My dad always said, "Don't start something you're not going to finish," and that was something that I think these kids right now, it's like, start it. Oh, you don't have to finish. You don't like it. Let's just go to something else, and you let them leave, and they build that. They build that. That's a bad thing to build up.
Yeah, I agree. Switching gears a little bit. Who and where did you get the perfect power hitter nickname, the Big Bruiser, from?
Great
You
name.
know,
Great nickname.
I
you want to
love
know
it.
what's funny?
Solid.
Is I never even knew that was my nickname.
What?
Yeah, it wasn't something people called me. It was something that I believe a newspaper article or somebody called me in the newspapers. I didn't know anything about it until I went to see Sports Stan. Sports Stan is in Hawaii. And when I went to go see him to do a camp with him in a clinic, and he's like, "Hey, can we make you a shirt that says the Big Bruiser?" I'm like, "Well, what is that?" And he's like, "That's your nickname." He goes, "Look on the internet, it's all over." And I was like, "What?" I looked it up, and I was like, "Yeah, I guess. I don't care." I was like, "It's a cool name, you know."
Yeah.
I think it's great.
What was the magic behind Team USA's Olympic gold medal success?
Oh wow, the magic between it all and on every team was everyone wanted to win. You know, that's a hard thing to come by. Everybody wants to win, and everybody wants to see each other succeed. You know, you don't get that a lot on a team, right? You don't get somebody playing in front of you and cheering for you to succeed. They're normally cheering for you to fail so they can get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So,
know exactly
Absolutely.
what you mean, Crystal, because I had a Chicago Bear on, uh, and Terrence was saying, what did he say? He says back in the day things were different. When a rookie came up, you helped them so the team got better. Now
exactly.
the way it looks at is if a rookie comes in, you push them away and not show them all your tricks of the trade because you don't want them to take over your position, and that just how the old school way. It wasn't that way before. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
he
a
said.
business now, right? It's all business.
Well, it is. It's all business, right? Because you can't get paid if you're not in the limelight. That's what they believe. And they don't want someone to come take their limelight. And honestly, that's what it was. You know, when I got into the game at a high level, I wanted to help everyone that I was playing with. You know, I wanted to help everybody get to where they could get to be the best that they could be because it makes the team better. You know, and then when I did camps and clinics, I wasn't the best at camps and clinics. I had to put my time in to learn how to do camps and clinics and get kids engaged to where they were wanting to be there. And then I would bring those other athletes up that were fresh and new that hadn't done clinics ever and give them a shot and show them how to get it going so they could start their own thing and do their own thing. I didn't expect them to stay with me. I expected them to learn and go do their own thing. But you gotta have someone willing to show you the ropes.
You know, Crystal, I kind of likened it to what Michael Jordan, again, total different sport because I've never played softball at your level, so I have to use different, but
Yeah, yeah.
Michael Jordan said that his skill set of trash talking was because he wanted to see that person at the best level that they could ever play at. He wanted them to get so pissed off that they had no other choice but to come and give them against Michael Jordan 110%. So that way he could say that he beat you on your best day. And like-minded, along with what you just said, when you're helping groom all these other people, not only does it help them because you're helping them, but it also makes you a better person because you got to fine tune your skills and possibly still be the best version of yourself and better than them, hopefully. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you got to look at, right? A lot of people go, "Oh, how is that older person still playing on the U.S. team? Give a younger kid a shot." And it's like, go ahead, you can say that. But let me tell you this, I work day in and day out to keep my spot while your young cat coming in just going to think I'm going to lay it over and lay down and give it to you? Nah, I'm going to make you come get it. If you want it, come get it. And if
They
you
gotta
get
earn
it,
it.
guess what? You better work twice as hard because I'm coming back for it. And it happened to me. I was cut in 2002. Nobody remembers that. I was released from the U.S. team and played on the second team. And I had to come
Wow.
back twice as hard to come back and get my stuff back together. You know, so if you guys believe they belong there, they all have a tryout just like everybody else. And we all got to go there and work our butt off to get on the team. And at the end of the day, it's not necessarily the best athlete, but it's the best team that goes to the Olympics. The ones that are going to come back doing the thing that they need to do.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. What was your best Team USA memory? What was it? Your comeback memory, or was it something else?
No, like my best memories is just, you know, being able to compete in all the different countries. You know, all of those memories is what stands with me. Not even winning, not even like coming home with gold medals and whatnot. It's literally being able to go play in another country and experience their fans, experience their culture, experience everything that we get a shot at. You know, we got to do a lot of cool things too, you know, being on the US team. I'll be honest, off the field, one of the coolest things was being up in a Black Hawk. That was the sickest thing I think I've ever done in my life. You know, they took us up in a Black Hawk and we got to do some crazy stuff. Them things are sick. You know, so, you know, but it's just being able to do the things that, and live the life and be able to travel. That's something I wouldn't have done, you know, without softball.
What advice would you give to young players aspiring to take their games to the collegiate and potentially Olympic level? What advice would you give them?
Master your trade. Master your trade, no matter what it is.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, like if you call yourself a hitter and you want to be a hitter, well then master it. Hit everything that's possibly can be thrown at you.
Interesting.
If you want to,
because you're obviously like you're a slugger, right? So that works for you. Does that apply to like if you're more of a if you call yourself like a great defender, you want to master that? Like you're saying, you know, master whatever makes you on the field.
Yeah,
got
master
it.
your trade. If you're going to be a defender and you're going to be known for your defense, and be somebody that can make a play in the 5-6 hole, make a jump and throw it to first, then you need to work on that. You need to work on your defense. You need to work on being able to throw the ball 120 feet and be able to hit your target. You know, a lot of people know me for my hitting, but I didn't make errors.
There you go.
Hey, Easy E, that kind of ties in with what Leah was saying. Remember when she said she tried to go be a power hitter and it didn't work for her, so she stayed in her lane and kept her success of like you said, being the Ichiro of softball, that consistent high average and getting on base and
and setting the table for Crystl to power her home.
Power home, baby.
That's
power
what you
home.
saw,
It's a
right?
good one. It's a
You
good
saw on the U.S. team, we had people that can place the ball. We had people that could bunt a ball. We had people that can run like a gazelle, right? You had people that could pitch a ball fast. You had people that could pitch a ball with movement. You had every piece of the game that you needed. That's what made us so strong. You know what I mean? And we all wanted everyone to succeed. You know, that was the thing. We wanted everyone to do well. You know, I was a DH hitter, only the hitter in 08, you know, and I had no problem with that. And I had no problem helping our shortstop and our third baseman and everyone become better at what they do.
Crystl, I love how your story ended because you were asked to remove yourself from baseball to play softball, but yet you still hold the record for most home runs in a series in the Olympics for men and women. So I guess right now you got the last laugh, and it's probably going to go on a little bit longer considering I think it was you that I just heard that the men's didn't get any home runs this Olympics.
Well, the softball program didn't hit home runs a lot, right? And it's a different game now, right? The game's evolved. The pitching has gotten what they say a little better. I don't know. I'm not facing it. I'm watching it on TV and I'm going, God, I would have hit that out the park. I would have knocked down. I think at this age, at 45, I still hit some of them out of the park. Yeah. You know, but you know, it's one of those things that I just see. I see people playing the game, but I really want to truly see someone master it.
So do you think right now, just hypothetically, if you were to, let's say Team USA called you up, was like, look, we're looking for a DH to bat fourth for us. You think you'd be able to, get some people home?
Oh yeah, I'll dust the cleats off any day. I'm a gamer.
Love it. I love that. That's such a good answer. No, not even a hesitation. That's great.
None.
Hey, these colors don't run.
Mad respect.
Now I know why you like Kobe Bryant.
Hey, it is what it is. When you do what you do, you be out the game 10 years, still show up.
Yeah, checks out.
Crystl, thank
BP
you.
the other day in practice, the kids could see it.
Oh, nice.
Right, they got it right. It's important.
I
gotta know that could be them one day.
I had a meme on my Facebook the other day, and it showed Kobe Bryant, and he was all like, he had all these ice packs on all over his entire body, and said, this is what I look at. This is what I look like whenever I go show my kids that I still got it.
I love that.
I'm not gonna lie. I definitely hurt after I hit for a couple bits, but I still get it done. But if I was told that I needed to come play or they wanted me to come play, I would shred, get ready, and be playing weight by summer.
Nice.
I love it. I respect it. That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, Brandon.
Crystl, thank you for everything that you did. I appreciate you coming in and spending time with us. Where can people find you if they want to follow you and whatever? What's going on?
If you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram at GotBustos6.
Okay.
Like got milk, got Bustos.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna do that right now.
Got Bustos6, and then you could always come out to a Texas A&M Commerce game. You'll find me there.
Nice. All right, thanks again, Crystl. Appreciate you.
No problem. Thank y'all.
Thanks a lot, Crystl.
Bye.
Man, that was an amazing interview, wasn't it?
That was awesome. But time out. Did you really call it a mem?
Yeah. I did.
All right. Hey, you know what? Whatever floats your boat. I'm like 99.8% sure it's meme, but
I know.
But whatever works for you, man. Like,
no, I had Crystl on, man. But thanks for calling me out.
No, it's all good. It's all good. My bad on that. But I was gonna be like, you know what? I figured I'd let you continue what you were saying before I, cut you off there. But I just, I couldn't let you slide forever for that one.
No, I appreciate you busting, man. That's good.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah. So, do you have a little bit of time so we get circle back to the soft baseball real quick, or no?
Yeah. I have some time. I have some time to talk about the Cubs. I was just saying before Crystl came on, just that the thing that's really impressed me so far is Justin Steele and Marcus Stroman, both off to really hot starts. I think in 4 starts, I think 1 run's been given up between the two of them, which is, always great to see from your number 1 and 2 starter. And like, it's not, I don't know how sustainable it is, but if those two could keep doing what they've done the first 2 games, we will be a playoff team. And I say that with full confidence because like you can't, I mean, if you're consistently going out there and putting up scoreless efforts like that, and I'm not saying scoreless every time, but if they're able, if maybe they give up a couple runs one game, but then they bounce back the next game and give up 1 run in 7 innings or something. If you're consistently able to do that, and you have 2 guys who are consistently able to do that, you're going to be tough to beat. They're going to be very tough to beat. As the Cubs might be giving up their lead right now. No, it's just a double, maybe a triple. Sorry, I'm watching the game as we're talking because it's getting to the 8th inning.
No, you're good, man. I appreciate it.
To answer your question, 2 guys I'm most impressed with so far are definitely Steele and Stroman, off to a really good start.
Wow. So you're looking at the pitching first and then working your way out and whatnot.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. As far as hitting, who do you like as far as hitting go? Who's been the biggest surprise?
Well, Swanson, Horner, and Happ, or Horner, Swanson, Happ in that order. That's a pretty good 1, 2, 3 to start your lineup. I think Swanson, he's going to come back down to earth pretty soon. Every Braves fan I've talked to has told me he's just a very streaky hitter, which is, kind of to be expected. I think we're going to get a lot of, Bellinger so far has been pretty good, and he's been very bad the past few years. So really, if he could even be league average, given how good his glove is in center field, I think that could be huge for the Cubs if he's just able to, hit 20 home runs, even if he hits only like 260, 250. That's an improvement.
Are you worried about Smiley at all, or do you think that was just a slight blip? You think he'll be all right, or
Smiley?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tonight he went out. Like, I was worried after that game because, you take a 3-run lead against the Reds, and you go out, in the top of the first, you go up 3-0. You go out there to pitch against them, and then you're giving up like a bunch of singles, and you pretty much give up the lead. It takes one inning to give up the lead against a team like the Reds. It's not very confidence inducing. Now, with that being said,
they are big. They are big power, right? They're big offense.
The Reds, well, that's the ballpark, right? Like Great American Ballpark, there's always going to be a lot of runs scored. Like I can't tell you how many Cubs games I remember there, just like 12-8, 10-6, whatever. There's going to be a lot of runs scored at the Great American Ballpark. But the Reds themselves aren't a great team. But to answer your question, yeah, I was not very I just wasn't very reassured about that, like blowing a lead early to the Reds like that. It didn't sit right with me. But obviously, I'm just a fan, like I don't pretend to be a pitching expert. And today he went out there against the Mariners and he did a really nice job. 5 innings, only gave up 1 run, and he's currently in line for the win. And by the way, Dansby Swanson just made an awesome play to keep the Mariners away from a scoring threat. I'm going to break it down for the audience who might be listening. Basically, Mariners have a guy on second, nobody out. Cubs are up 2-1 in the 8th inning. Ground ball up the middle. Swanson's positioned perfectly. Gets the ground ball, and he throws to third to get the guy who tried to run to second. And easy tag for Patrick Wisdom there. So instead of a guy on third with 1 out, there's a guy on first with 1 out, which is obviously a much better situation. So great play, Dansby Swanson there. But yeah, I guess what was I talking about? Yeah, Smiley. I think I'm not too concerned about him because he is the number 4-5 starter. And as far as other number 4-5 starters go, I mean, he's right up there with any of the others in the league, I'd say. So I'm not too concerned about where he's at.
I know you don't dabble a whole lot in the South Side, but is there anything that you could to give us some information on what's going on over there?
Yeah, so I do dabble with the South Side. I like the Sox. I'm not one of those Cubs fans who doesn't like the Sox.
I know you're definitely not a hater, but I get so much.
No, that's fair. Look, I like them Cubs. Except when we play them, which is, I guess 4 times a year. Hopefully more than 4 times this year because I'd love to meet them in the World Series. But no, I mean, I think the Sox, you got Dylan Cease and then a whole bunch of question marks at starting pitcher. Michael Kopech the other day, for example, he was tipping his pitches. His thumb goes up on his glove whenever he's throwing a breaking ball, I think, or at least it was during their game against the Giants. And that's part of why he just kept on giving up home run after home run after home run. So really, I'm most concerned about that pitching staff in the South Side. It looks like Grandal's hitting well, and I think Benintendi's looking like a really nice signing so far. And I think the White Sox should be competitive, like at least for a playoff spot for a while, but I'm not sure. They did get the win today, which is, big for them because they were 4-6. But, I think that they'll also hover around 500. But right now, I objectively think I'm not saying this will continue the rest of the season, but I do think the Cubs are in a better spot right now than the White Sox. And I'm not just saying that as a Cubs fan. I'm saying that objectively, like the Cubs seem to be in a really, they're just in a really good spot. And Dylan Cease, he wasn't at his best today, but, he had another solid game, 5 innings, only 1 run surrendered. So yeah, I guess I think both Chicago teams will be fairly competitive well into at least September.
I'm really intrigued about their skipper. Is there any info that you have on him?
I mean, well, okay, I have my own theory about baseball managers in general.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I don't know much about, how do you say his last name? I know it's Pedro. Is it Griffal?
Yeah.
I don't know much about him. I like him more personally than Tony La Russa, but I also think Tony La Russa in general is underrated. I know I'd get a lot of shit for saying that, but I mean, it takes a lot of knowledge of baseball to win World Series in 3 different decades. And Tony La Russa did that. But look, I don't know much about Griffal, honestly. I also think the role of manager is becoming more and more delegated. I don't know if delegated is the right word even. It's becoming more of like a, above the manager decisions, like a lot of analytical people, a lot of, the front office makes a lot of in-game decisions now. And I'm not sure, just whether that's a good or bad thing is yet to be determined, but I'm just not sure how much of a role a manager has as he has had in years past. And I guess it also varies on the team, but I imagine, since Griffol's new to this, and if I'm butchering his name, please let me know, audience. But I think he has experience as a bench coach. He's worked his way up. I think that he probably does have a lot of leeway with the team. But at the same time, it's too early to make a judgment. He's 11 games in. He's got his team at 5-6, which isn't great, not terrible. But long season. And root for the guy. I'm rooting for the guy to do well. Baseball's better when both Chicago teams are doing well. That's
okay. I think we lost connection with Eazy-E, but that was great input that he was giving us with the Sox and the Cubs, and I believe he's back now.
My bad. I accidentally pressed the back button on my computer. My bad.
That's all right.
It happens.
Yeah. We were just about wrapping up anyways. All I was going to do is thank you for your time and effort for stepping in tonight, and also give a little sneak peek at what's going to go on next week. We're going to have Alex Shapiro from NBC's Sports Chicago. He's an award-winning writer and videographer who keeps everyone in the know in Chicago sports teams. And we're also going to have Eric, oh man, I'm sure he's not going to, here I go with my last name blunder too, but not as bad as a mem. Doer Watcher, Eric Doer Watcher. He's actually getting ready to, or he's already enlisted in officer candidate school, and he's getting ready to leave here to go to officer candidate school for the Navy here in the near future. So we had to bump him up into this to get him on. He works for Windy City Gridiron. He's a fan's 12th man in the huddle on all things Windy City Gridiron. So it'll be nice to get a lot of Bears information from these guys. Sure. And Alex is a little bit more like a Swiss Army knife like you are, a little bit of everything, so yes, it'll be a good show next week, brother.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, either tuning in or joining y'all. I want to ask real quick, or I want to say real quick, something I forgot to add. Once Seiya Suzuki comes back to the Cubs, I do think we're going to start seeing this lineup take off a lot more. And I just want to throw that out there because I forgot to mention him. But I think he's just going to be really good right fielder for us.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I'm hoping Suzuki comes back. I'm really excited about that. I'm hoping he just starts heavy with the hammer. You know what I mean? Hey, and for all the listeners that gave me a bunch of beef for my old jersey that I kept wearing, and they kept saying 50 who. Well, guess what? I got me New Jersey.
Is that a DJ Moore jersey?
That is a DJ Moore jersey, bro.
Okay, first of all, it's sick. I love it, but I have to ask, what's Santos gonna wear?
I don't know, but did you see that we signed a punter, a lefty punter today from the Giants?
Or he was a free agent, lefty punter. I'm just letting you know, Bill Belichick has always had a lefty punter, and he won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach for the Patriots. So, so I'm just saying, that's what we've been missing all along is a lefty punter.
That's it.
Yeah, we're going. Where's the Super Bowl next year? Is it in? Is it Dallas? No, it's not in Dallas. It's in Nevada. Yeah, Las Vegas. Here we come, baby. Let's go. I'm hyped about it because now we got a lefty punter. I'm gonna find his name because I already forgot it. But we got
Ryan.
Oh, Ryan Anderson. That's right.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, no,
kind of reminds me of that Anderson that was a longtime field goal kicker, right? With Gil Anderson or something like that.
There was Morton and there was Gary.
Gary and Morton, yeah.
I think Morton was the much better one, and I'm bleeding up top. Embarrassing. That's okay. But yeah, I guess that means every time we punt, it is going to be 1% more interesting.
Well, what they were talking about was they wanted to use them potentially, just a guess, a speculation. There's no insider information here on Monsters of the Madhouse, that they're going to be punting from the left side and the right side so they can get a feel for both in special teams. Now, I'm telling you what, they're taking it to the next level if they're freaking just bringing in a punter just so you can get a lefty. That's much different than lining up for a lefty pitcher, right?
Well, yeah, I hear you, and it is interesting. It's obviously interesting to explore those avenues. Hopefully, neither of those punters is put to much use. That's all I'll say. I'm hoping that the most we see out of them is holding kicks for Cairo Santos on extra points and the occasional field goal. But no, I'm hoping I'm hoping the punter isn't our main concern this coming season.
Yeah,
or maybe
so
I'm hoping he is our main concern because everything else is going perfectly.
So easy. I got this. I got this jersey from TC World of Wonders, our sponsor, and you get 10% off, and there's no sales tax, and he ships it out to you right away. And I had a big jersey, and it came to me. Look, he split less than a week, usually about 2 days if he's got it in stock. And it's from Louisville, Kentucky. So also he sent me a couple air fresheners, Chicago Cub air fresheners, and they smell mighty nice. I hung one up the other day and almost decided to do improv, what do you call it? Commercial for the guy. I was like so happy hanging my Chicago Cubs air freshener there,
I get it, man. I sometimes you just want to give someone a sponsor just because they're so freaking cool, all pro bono.
Yeah. But TC World of Wonders, man, he's awesome. So check him out and get him that, get you that 10% off and no sales tax. And I think this was like $40 or something. But I love the guy, man. Great heart, a lot of stuff there, hats, everything. He's got anything, wind chimes, anything you can think of. He's got all that stuff. The steering wheel cover, all that stuff, man. So yeah, absolutely. So, but hey, so what? Real quick, so you're down there in San Diego. What's your mode of transportation, man? You just using local transportation or what?
Well, actually, I'm in Burbank. I was in San Diego this past weekend seeing my grandparents for Passover. But no, I'm currently in Burbank. I drive a car. I have a Subaru.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Got
I like to walk a lot with my dog to get places. But no, I have a car.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wondered how they travel in different modes. But I was Central Valley, born and raised, so we took a car everywhere we could go. It's just constant, fields of the San Joaquin Valley, just agriculture capital of the world. So it takes a while to get anywhere, but once you get somewhere, I mean, you're a half hour to the coast, you're about an hour to Yosemite. It was beautiful, man.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No, that's the great thing about California is you got all sorts of climates in one place. It's great.
Right. So, great. Hey, man, thanks again for being on, and I'll let you go.
Of course, always happy to.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Have a good night.
You too, man. Take care.